Okay, thank you for joining us here at the Wall Street Ledger to our Value Stock podcast. I'm here joined with Mr. Michael Conant. He's the president, CEO at Vizsla Resources, which trades on the venture under the ticker VZLA, as well over the counter, ticker VIZSF. Michael, thank you for joining us here.
Thank you, Nicholas. I'm pleased to be on the show, and appreciate you having us on.
So excited to have you here with us. The company has an explosive opportunity that I would love to cover. But first, touch a little bit about the current projects and operations at the company.
Yeah, so Vizsla's actually consolidated a very old mining district in Mexico for the first time ever. So this is a district called the Panuco Silver and Gold District that's 45 minutes away from the Mazatlan Airport in Mexico. And this is a district that's been held by families, Mexican mining families, small concessionaires, just a very long but rich history of small scale mining across the district. And Vizsla is the first company ever to consolidate the district. We did that about a year ago. And we did that by creating several option deals with the Mexican mining families there. That took me personally about a year to do, and it took others many years of effort. So it's a very rare thing to have in a publicly listed company, but it's the efforts of consolidating a very rich district with a long history, and this has paid off recently because we've actually made some of Mexico's highest grade discoveries in the last several months at Panuco. So it's really an exciting story.
Talk about those two recent announcements that you put out about those exciting grades that you pulled from the project.
Well, so the best way to maybe make an example of this, or how best to explain this, is that in Mexico, the typical grade of silver, that silver equivalent that a mining company like Pan American Silver or Agnico Eagle or whoever is mining in Mexico, the average grade is about 350 grams per ton silver. We made a discovery there that was. And I should say that the average mining width of a vein is maybe about 2 meters. So we made a discovery there of 8,000 grams per ton silver equivalent over 6 meters. So that's 3 times the average width. And I don't know how many times that is, but it's 8,000 versus 350. So it's a spectacularly high grade, very, very rich deposit, or very rich mineral field that we have under option down there, and many, many times the average grade of a deposit in Mexico.
If you could talk about the current stock price and where do you feel that it's pushing it at the moment, or what is driving that at the moment?
Well, just to give a little bit even more background about Vizsla, so when we were about a year ago, we were trading at about 15 to 20 cents a share. When we announced the deal, we raised money at about 45 cents. We made the first discovery several months ago, and the stock went over $1 per share. On the back of the discovery I mentioned just earlier, which was a very, very high grade discovery, we traded up to in excess of $2.50 a share. Right now, we're trading between $1.75 and $2 a share. And so what's driving that is excitement around the discovery, as well as the potential for more discovery as we continue to drill the district. And just on that note, we have 4 drill rigs turning. We have over $30 million in the bank to go do this exploration. We're very well funded, and we're doing a hell of a lot of exploration.
So then let's switch gears a bit here. Do you feel the investment community fully understands the company's opportunity?
You know what, I would say that I think the investment community understands that we're a company that hit a high grade discovery and continue to make high grade discoveries in at our project in Mexico. But what I don't think that the investment community understands, and of course it's my job to tell the investment community this, is that the opportunity or the size of the prize that we have here with Panuco is monstrous, and I don't think our market cap reflects truly what the potential is, and that potential is to essentially have a multi-100 million ounce silver camp that's in production, that's permitted, that has a HEDO agreements and a mill. And that's what we have here to be purchased in the coming months and years here. So it's an incredible opportunity.
Yeah, and I surely agree that the company is significantly undervalued. So with that being said, I'd like to touch on this really experienced board and management team at the company.
Right. So I'm the president and CEO. I was the founder of Vizsla, or I am the founder of Vizsla. And I have a commerce background. My background has been business, but because I was born in Vancouver, I went to school in Vancouver and started working in Vancouver. And Vancouver is all about mining. And so the first job I got out of university was with a company called Vizsla Resources, and this was at the top of the market back in 2010. And I saw just how amazing it is to see when gold and silver prices is rising or is at a great level, and the amount of investor interest in the space. And that was a great education, great place to start. And since then, I went off and worked for a couple of other companies, and ended up starting my own various mining companies. And the last one that I started was before starting Vizsla was called Cobalt One Energy Corp. And that I started with our chairman, Craig Perry, and we ended up selling that for a fantastic return to an Australian company for our shareholders. And that led to Craig and I starting Vizsla. Now, Craig's background, he spent a decade at Rio Tinto. He was one of the founders of NextGen Energy, a Li Ka-shing-backed next energy explorer in Saskatchewan, one of the founders of EMR Capital, a multi-billion-dollar private equity firm. So he and I, he has a bit more of a technical background as well, but we complement each other nicely in that sense, where he's got a wealth of experience, many decades of experience, and I run the day-to-day of Vizsla. And of course, we have Simon Smirlik, who's the director of Vizsla, but also the COO of Ausenco, a multi-billion-dollar mine building company, probably one of the world's best mine builders. And we also have Stuart Smith, who's a PhD geologist on the board. But also one of the more important members of our management team is Charles Funk, who's a very, very well established, but still on the young side, still motivated, driven geologist that I'm grateful to have on our team. So we have a very well-rounded team: business, engineering, geology, everything we need.
I think it's always better to have a young guy out in the field, right? Let him do the dirty work, and they're always going to be hungry, looking for positive grades, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So there's so many TSX venture mining companies. What I'd like to know is, what do you feel really sets your company apart from the others in the mining sector?
Well, that's a great question, because this is a question I love to answer for Vizsla, because we have a lot of things going for us here. We have new discoveries, so we have effectively grassroots discoveries in a brownfields district, and this is a district that's been in production for 450 years, but it's never been explored. So we have the ability for discoveries. We have the ability for the size of the prize to be enormous, which is a district that compares to some of the best in Mexico. But what really sets us apart from all these other companies is that when we make a discovery, our time to mining is so much faster than pretty much any other company out there. And the reason for that is because we have an option agreement with the Mexican mining families that we're working with down in Mexico through our option agreements. We have the ability to purchase a 500 ton per day mill. We have the ability to purchase the permits, the HEDO agreements, the power, even the office chairs and pencils. At the mine site, we can, for $23 million, we can purchase everything that we need to be into production. In a very short time period. So, you see other companies out there like, great companies that have made big discoveries like Silvercrest and Great Bear, and their share prices have appreciated. What sets us apart from other discovery stories like Silvercrest and Great Bear is that we have the production infrastructure right there on the project. So, a lot of companies, they'll take 5 up to 5 years to get permitted and to build the mill and build the mine. We can do that very rapidly.
Right, and that just makes going to market that much better because everything is there in one source, and you don't have to outsource everything. So it makes it a lot easier. Yep. So where do you see, Mike, the company positioned? Let's forecast and say 2 or 3 years. Where would you like to see the company at?
Well, our vision for Vizsla is to build a precious metals producer through our Panuco asset in Mexico. So in 2 to 3 years, I believe we'll be producing a significant amount of silver and gold per year at a very low cost with a very good production profile.
Awesome, and we'll be here watching every single moment of that growth. So in conclusion, Mike, why should then an investor consider the company as a good long-term investment opportunity?
Well, the reason that I would look to Vizsla, and I've invested my money in it, and many of my friends and family have, is because, as I said, this is a company that you can share in the upside from exploration, you can share in the upside of development, and share in the upside of production in such a short time frame that virtually no other company that offers. So, if you believe that silver and gold are good investments, and I think you have to like a company that's going out there finding high grade silver and gold and that can bring it into production very rapidly.
It really does sound like you guys are in a great position at the moment. Michael, thank you for joining us here at the Wall Street Ledger. We do wish you and the company future success.
Well, thank you very much, and as I said, I appreciate being on your show.
So, ladies and gents, our featured guest has been Mr. Michael O'Connor, President and CEO at Vizsla Resources. Vizsla Resources currently trades shares on the venture, on the ticker VZLA, as well over the counter, ticker VIZSF. Thank you for joining us.